What's up, everybody? It's the Alex Leak and Friends NFL podcast back for another week. I am your host, Alex Leak, and this is the 2019 Week 10 Monday Night Football episode as the 7-2 Seattle Seahawks head to take on the 8-0 San Francisco 49ers at Levi's Stadium. Big game, division rivalry. Whenever the Seahawks and 49ers get together, there's always lots of fireworks, and I expected the same thing tonight. I picked the Seahawks to win this game just because I think the Seahawks are playing some great football at the moment, and Russell Wilson is the leading MVP candidate, so I trust him. I like the additions of Josh Gordon and safety Quandre Diggs from the Lions. And I think these Seahawks are set to make a deep run into the postseason. But going up against an undefeated 49ers team, I also wanted to see the Niners take their first loss of the year. Not that I hate this 49ers team, but I like parity in the NFL, and I like it when, there's no teams that stand out. So it was nice to see the Niners take their first loss. But let's get into this game, as it was a hell of a game. And another factor that played in to me taking the Seahawks in this one was the Niners were playing without star tight end George Kittle and veteran kicker Robbie Gould. So the Niners become really weak at tight end without having, probably the best tight end in football in George Kittle. And without Robbie Gould, they signed rookie kicker Chase McLaughlin, which, if you paid any attention to the Chargers earlier in the season, you would know that Chase McLaughlin's not that great of a kicker. But the Niners go with him, and he actually it panned out pretty well, that decision early on in this game. McLaughlin hits a 43-yarder to put the Niners up 3-0. Jimmy Garoppolo did throw an interception on the opening drive, but it was called back on defensive holding. So no interception. I believe it was defensive holding. It was something like that. There was a couple. Jimmy Garoppolo got away with a couple dangerous throws in this game. But other than that, had the Niners right where they needed to be to stay undefeated. So Niners jump out to a 3-0 lead as rookie kicker Chase McLaughlin hits it, 43-yarder. Then the Seahawks go 3-and-out, and Jimmy Garoppolo would throw a 10-yard touchdown pass to wide receiver Kendrick Bourne. So after two possessions by the 49ers, it's a 10-0 49er lead. Quick start, but I was thinking, long game left to be played. The Seahawks just need to adjust and calm down defensively, get some stops, and it'll be all right. After dominating the entire game in the first half, the Niners 10-0 lead with like 2 minutes left in the first half. San Francisco would commit their first turnover of the game. And it would be a huge momentum swing as Jimmy Garoppolo would get strip-sacked by Seahawks defensive tackle Jarran Reed. The ball is recovered by defensive end Jadeveon Clowney, and Clowney returns it 10 yards for a touchdown. So on one play, they cut the score from 10-0 to 10-7. Clowney scores a defensive touchdown on the fumble recovery, and like I said, a huge momentum swing, big defensive score. That's the type of stuff that happens when, you allow a big turnover on the other end of the field. So at 10-7, the Seahawks come down trying to take the lead before halftime. Rookie wide receiver DK Metcalf catches a pass, and while trying to score on what would have been a 28-yard touchdown pass, a great defensive play by 49ers safety Jaquiski Tartt as he forces a fumble right before the end zone at the 2-yard line. Tartt recovers the fumble and keeps the Seahawks off the scoreboard before halftime. That would have been a huge blow to the Niners' confidence if they had a 10-0 lead with 2 minutes to go, blow the lead, and be trailing 14-10 at halftime. Instead, a great defensive play, like I said, by Jaquiski Tartt, and it keeps the score 10-7 49ers at halftime. In a crazy game already. At halftime, you could tell this game was wild. So we started the second half. Niners have the lead. Kyle Shanahan, the 49ers head coach, decides to go for it on 4th and 2 from the Seattle 33-yard line instead of attempting a long field goal. It's an incomplete pass and a turnover on downs. Now, I hate, turnovers. And turnover on downs are just giving the ball away. But I kind of understand this one. With Robbie Gould being out for this game and having to rely on the rookie backup kicker, I understand why you would be hesitant to kick the field goal there. It would have been, close to a 50-yarder, or maybe a little longer than 50, maybe like a 51-yarder. So I understand why Kyle Shanahan would be hesitant. You got a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo. He's got weapons. Put your trust into him. But unfortunately, it didn't work out. Then a pass, another possession. Jimmy Garoppolo passed to wide receiver Kendrick Bourne, but it goes off of his hands and is intercepted by Seahawks safety Quandre Diggs in his team debut. Diggs would return the interception 44 yards into the red zone. Huge play by the Seahawks and by Diggs. This is Diggs' first game as a Seahawk, and that's quite a way to earn the team's trust, earn the fan base's support, and, put a big mark, show the Lions that they made a bad decision by getting rid of you. So a great play by Quandre Diggs puts the Seahawks in position to at least tie the game, but Russell Wilson had other ideas as he floats a 3-yard touchdown pass to tight end Jacob Hollister to give the Seahawks a 14-10 lead. Now, do I put all the blame on Garoppolo for that interception? No, I don't. He hit Kendrick Bourne in the hands. Maybe the throw was a little high, but if the old adage, if you get your hands on the ball, you need to catch it. So, bad play by Kendrick Bourne. And Garoppolo had a lot of interesting throws, a lot of dangerous throws in this game, but I don't believe that was one of them. So 14-10 Seahawks lead in the second half. Then a 1-yard rushing touchdown by Chris Carson extends the lead to 21-10 Seattle. Another, that score was set up by a Jadeveon Clowney forced fumble on Jimmy Garoppolo. So you can see already by this podcast, we're in the third quarter of this game, and Jimmy Garoppolo has been mentioned in a lot of turnovers and a lot of potential turnovers. Whether they're all his fault or not, really, I only think one of these is not his fault, is the Bourne interception, the Diggs interception off him. I think Garoppolo easily could have thrown 3 interceptions in this game and also lost 2 fumbles, so not great. He needs to be much better at protecting the football. Those turnovers go from a 10-0 lead to down 21-10 in the second half. Then, a lot of defensive plays, a lot of, craziness, a lot of sloppiness. Russell Wilson would fumble the ball. It would actually be fumbled by Russell Wilson, recovered by Jermaine Ifedi, his right tackle, and then fumbled by Ifedi and recovered by 49ers defensive tackle DeForest Buckner, who picks it up and runs 12 yards for a touchdown. So, honestly, get rid of Ifedi here. This is a fumble by Russell Wilson, recovered by DeForest Buckner for a touchdown. Wilson needs to be a little bit more taking care of the football here, as that play lets the Niners back in the game. Kyle Shanahan decides to go for the 2-point conversion here, and the pass to Kendrick Bourne is good. The Niners cut the lead to 21-18 early fourth quarter. Now, if you pay attention to me, you know that I don't like to go for 2 unless it's absolutely necessary, and I would have not gone for 2-point conversion here. It's early in the fourth quarter. I would have kicked the extra point, make it 21-17, make it a 4-point game. There's plenty of football left. No need to make it a 3-point game with more than 12 minutes to go in the quarter, in the game. Now, when you go for it and it works, there's nothing I can say. You went for it. You got an extra point. It's 21-18. It's a 3-point game. That came in handy as they were able to tie it with a field goal later. But I would have kicked the extra point, make it 21-17, trusted Garoppolo and my offense that they could get a touchdown later on. Or maybe the defense would get it, the way this game's going. But, if you go for it there and you don't get the 2-point conversion, then you're down 5. You need a touchdown. It's 21-16. And it's a momentum killer, really. But now that I'm thinking about it, I don't have as big of a problem here because there is something to gain. Going for 2 makes it a field goal game instead of a touchdown game. So I understand from that point of view of making it a field goal game. I still would not have done it, but I understand that type of thinking. I think with 12 minutes to go, it's too early to do it. I would have waited. But the 2-point conversions that I don't understand are the ones with nothing to gain, like the one where Ron Rivera went for it against the Packers on Sunday. You cut it to a 6-point lead, or you miss and it's an 8-point lead. Why not just kick the extra point and it's still a 7-point game? And you still need a touchdown regardless of the outcome there. I don't understand going for 2 there. You're thinking too far ahead, like, oh, what if we score 2 touchdowns and then we can win the game? If I get this 2-point conversion, who cares? Just kick the extra point. So, like I said, plenty of football to go. No need to panic or do something to change the outcome of it that early. So, but they go for 2, they get it. So it's a 3-point game, 21-18. Turns out to be a good decision by Kyle Shanahan. I can't hate on him because he called it. It worked out, and they needed it. As they only, they get a 39-yard field goal from kicker Chase McLaughlin to tie the game at 21 apiece with 6 minutes left. So if you're looking at this right now, Chase McLaughlin's been solid so far. Kicker Jason Myers for the Seahawks kicks a 46-yarder with less than 2 minutes remaining to put the Seahawks up 24-21. I thought that was the game then, but Garoppolo was clutch, leading the Niners in the field goal range, and then the rookie kicker Chase McLaughlin hits a 47-yarder to tie the game at the end of regulation, 24-24, and send the game to overtime. McLaughlin had to hit it to save the 49ers, to send the game to OT, and he comes through. Big-time kick. At this point, you're saying, damn, Chase McLaughlin has stepped up and, could be a starter for any team at this point, hitting clutch kicks and coming through when they absolutely need him to. So we go to overtime, and this is where things get interesting. On the opening drive of overtime, Russell Wilson leading the team down. I've got major beef with this call right here. Russell Wilson is ruled, quote, in the grasp on a play, despite breaking away from tacklers and picking up a 5-yard gain. Instead of it being 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 6 in overtime, the officials rule a sack and 3rd and 16. Can we quit with this dumbass rule already? It's not football. It's weird. He was never down. I thought, correct me if I'm wrong, NFL, but doesn't a player have to have a knee or an elbow down to be down? Don't you have to take a player down to the ground? I don't understand what this rule is. I've seen it before. I've never understood it. I know you're, quote-unquote, saving the player from a hard hit. Man, if Russell Wilson wanted to be saved from a hard hit, he would have played baseball, all right? We all know he was good at baseball. He could have done either or. Let's stop protecting these players. Well, they signed up to play football. They signed up to take hits. They didn't sign up to play baseball. So let's stop with this. You're not helping Russell Wilson here. You're hurting him. He's trying to make a play in the clutch. And instead, you're saying because a defensive player had 2 hands on him, that it's a sack. You know what would have happened? Eli Manning in the Super Bowl would have been ruled a sack. And that David Tyree helmet catch would have never happened because of this dumbass rule. Get rid of it. I hate it. Tons of fans hate it. It's disgusting. Like I said again, it's not football. He was never taken to the ground. I'm going on a rant here, but I can't stand it. And there's a lot of things about the game and the officiating that I don't like, and this is a big one. I'll never understand the in the grass or in the dirt type call there. Like, oh, the play's over. Let's move on. With a running back that's trying to go forward and has been pushed back a lot. I understand that more than the quarterback. The quarterback is constantly trying to avoid a sack and make a play. All right. Russell Wilson at no point went backwards here. Watch the replay. He had no point to Russell Wilson go backwards. He was fighting forwards for yards. He breaks away, picks up 10 yards, and then you're going to say, oh, no, it's a sack. Tell the defensive player to do his job and get Russell Wilson on the ground. Let's not reward. I think it was last year, Patriots-Chiefs in the regular season, when the Chiefs defensive end, or I think it was D Ford, had Tom Brady like wrapped up and figured the play was over because of this in the grass quote unquote play. Lets Tom Brady go. Tom Brady gets up and runs in for a touchdown. And the D Ford's looking around like, I believe it was D Ford, but the Chief is looking around like, where's the in the grass call there? Oh, it's not there because Tom Brady? Come on now. You have to get these plays consistent, and you know how you get these consistent? By getting rid of that dumbass rule, and letting these guys actually play football and go to the ground. Try explaining that to a kid who's like, oh, that's learning the game. Explain it to a kid and say, oh, you need a knee down for the play to be over. You need an elbow down and to be touched, or a knee down and to be touched for the play to be over. So, what? Russell Wilson was never down on this play, so how is that? Why are they blowing the whistle? Why is that a sack? It's fucking not, and it's a horrible rule. But anyways, I can go on for hours on that. I don't have that kind of time. So it's 3rd and 16. You're thinking, man, Russell Wilson, the Seahawks, they're screwed. That's a tough position to be in. Well, Russell Wilson, being all crazy, being the guy that he is, picks up 3rd and 16 on a great throw to wide receiver Malik Turner. Keeps the drive alive. As Seattle drives into the red zone, I was thinking this game's about to be over. You know, Russell Wilson is as clutch as they come, leading the team down into the red zone. He's just going to keep moving. He doesn't throw red zone turnovers, interceptions. He doesn't turn the ball over down there. I'm thinking touchdown, game is over. Instead, Russell Wilson uncharacteristically underthrows the tight end and is intercepted by 49ers rookie linebacker Dre Greenlaw, who takes the interception, returns it all the way to midfield. A rare, bad Russell Wilson throw here that should have cost the Seahawks a win. It should have. If the 49ers execute here, game over. Instead, Garoppolo leads them into field goal range. I think they would have liked to get a little bit closer. But Chase McLaughlin comes in. He hit a 47-yarder to send it to overtime. He's looking at a 47-yarder to win the game, but unfortunately for McLaughlin and the 49ers fans, he not even close. He missed it badly. If you see some videos, the kick goes into the tunnel, so not even close to a good field goal. Horrible kick, and Niners were really missing Robbie Gould, a reliable kicker there. So tough kick, and the good news is the game is still going. It's not over. But, Garoppolo and the Niners get another shot, but they go 3 and out. The Seahawks got a shot at a punt. Then the Seahawks get another opportunity. On that 3rd and 10 for the 49ers, Garoppolo throws it deep. Outstanding defensive play made by Seahawks corner Shaquille Griffin to give Russell Wilson and the offense one more opportunity in overtime. Outstanding play. He had to lay out and stop it from being a catch. Great play. Play of the night, really. Then we go, Seahawks come down, and kicker Jason Myers is set up for a 42-yard game-winning field goal as time expires, and they avoid a tie. Jason Myers hits a 42-yarder, and the Seahawks win 27-24 in Levi Stadium in overtime, and hand the 49ers their first loss of the season. Huge division win for the Seahawks on the road against the hated 49ers. And the Seahawks pull to within half a game of the 49ers for the division lead. The Seahawks improved to 8-2. The Niners dropped to 8-1. And the Seahawks head into their bye week. Looking at the stats for this game, Russell Wilson combines for 285 yards, a touchdown, and a turnover. In my opinion, there should be a fumble lost in there too, but that's charged to Germain Ifedi. Russell Wilson improves to 12-3 in his career against the 49ers, so he's had their number. Running back Chris Carson combines for 101 yards and a touchdown. And the 49ers have allowed a 100-yard rusher in 6 straight games for the first time since 2016. Now let me look at that here real quick. Who went for 100 yards rushing for the Seahawks today? Or tonight? Nobody. So maybe that's 600 yards or 100 yards as a team. I'm not sure. But let's go ahead and throw that stat out. I don't know what that's talking about. So scratch that last rushing stat. But rookie wide receiver DK Metcalf for the Seahawks, 6 catches for 70 yards and a fumble lost. He now has 2 straight games of 5+ catches, 5 or more catches. That fumble lost was huge, could have been a touchdown. So DK Metcalf needs to work on his ball security. That could have been a big touchdown to end the first half. Seahawks tight end Jacob Hollister, 8 catches for 62 yards and a touchdown. Defensive end Jadeveon Clowney has himself a day. Records 5 tackles, a sack, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery return for a touchdown. So he hits on all cylinders for the defense. Kicker Jason Myers, 2 for 2 on field goals, 3 for 3 on extra points. Solid as usual. Actually making up for missing a game-winning kick the week before. Jason Myers was. For the 49ers, quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo throws 24 of 46 for 248 yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 turnovers. 2 fumbles lost, and an interception. And like I said earlier, could have been 2 or 3 more interceptions. He was hitting defenders in the hands all night. I mean, that's easily could have been a 4 or 5 turnover night, or a 5 or 6 even turnover night for Jimmy Garoppolo. So far, I'm not impressed. He's got to do better. He's got to work on ball security. If Garoppolo takes care of the ball, the Niners win tonight. That's even without George Kittle, even without Robbie Gould. So a healthy 49ers team is still going to be damn hard to beat. But Garoppolo absolutely has to work on his ball security because those type of turnovers can kill you, especially when it gets late in the season, gets into the postseason. Garoppolo, I thought looked a little bit like, looked a little bit like he could turn the ball over against the Cardinals the last game I watched him play. And in this game, you saw it even more. So he's got to definitely work on that. Other than that, he's a solid quarterback, but the turnovers can be a major problem if it continues. Rookie wide receiver Deebo Samuel catches 8 for 112 yards. Very promising young wide receiver. Kendrick Bourne catches 4 for 42 yards and a touchdown. Niners linebacker Fred Warner records 9 tackles, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble. Solid game out of him, the Penn State product. Rookie kicker Chase McLaughlin, 3 of 4 on field goals, 1 of 1 on extra points. His only miss, the kick that would have won the game. So, tough blow to the 49ers there, but they need Robbie Gould back. Anytime you're dealing with a backup kicker, you're going to have issues. So, 49ers defense records 3 or more sacks for their 6th straight game. They're on fire right now on that D-line. That's the first time the Niners have done that since 1997. 6 straight games of 3 or more sacks. Some injury news. Wide receiver Tyler Lockett for the Seahawks was not out there in overtime, and he was taken to the hospital after the game with a severe contusion and swelling of a leg muscle. Sounds like it's not going to be a long-term issue, but it was a right-now issue. He needed to get the swelling to go down because it could have caused more issues in his leg. So he's at the hospital getting that taken care of, but he'll have 2 weeks to get ready for their next game at the Eagles because they're heading into their bye. Tyler Lockett, some good news on him as he passes wide receiver Cornyn Robinson for 8th most receiving yards in Seahawks history, 3,567. So, nice accomplishment by Lockett, and best of wishes to Tyler as he recovers from that leg injury. Next up, in Week 11, the Arizona Cardinals at 3-6-1 will travel to Levi Stadium to take on the 8-1 49ers. Cardinals played the Niners tough, was it 2 weeks ago? But this one being in San Francisco, I expect the Niners, coming off a loss, to come out and take care of business against Arizona. As I said, the Seahawks, who improved to 8-2, head into their bye week, Week 11, and will be set to take on the Philadelphia Eagles at the Link on Sunday Night Football in Week 12. That'll be the 8-2 Seahawks at the 5-4 Eagles. The Eagles are 5-4 at this moment. We'll see what their record will be heading into Week 12. So, great game, hell of a game of football. Excellent Monday Night Football game. I love the Seahawks 49ers rivalry, and it did not disappoint in Week 10. So, great football. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to subscribe, like, or leave a comment. Go on my Alex Leak and Friends on NFL Podcast on YouTube and check out my interview I did last week with former Chargers corner Quentin Jammer, 12-year pro, and the older brother of new Seahawks safety Quandre Diggs. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Appreciate all the support from you guys. And have a great week, guys. Peace out.